What's up guys, Eric here from Techisode TV, and today we're taking a look at the top 10 unknown features on the iPhone SE 2nd generation. I already did a video where I covered the top 5 unknown camera features, so this video is just going to focus on non-camera related unknown features. If you wanted to see the unknown camera features video, you can click the link at the end of this video or the link in the description. Also, while I'm focusing this video on the iPhone SE, these features will still be available on most other iPhones on iOS 13.4.1 or higher. With that out of the way, let's get started. If you ever get a text message and you quickly want to reply with a voice message instead of typing everything out, all you have to do is raise the phone to your ear and start talking. Yeah, and while you're at it, you should hit the notification bell so you can actually be notified when I upload new videos. And just like that, I have a voice message ready to send. All I have to do now is tap the send button, and I'm done. If you're one of those people that never leaves reviews on applications and you just get frustrated every time you get a pop-up while you're going into an application asking you to review the app, then you can actually turn those pop-ups off by going to your settings, scrolling down to iTunes and App Store, then scrolling all the way to the bottom and turn off in-app ratings and reviews. So now, no matter which app you install, no matter how many times you open that application, you're never going to open it up to a pop-up asking you to review the application. While we're on this page, I should also point out that this is where you find the offload unused apps option. And what this does is it removes apps that you haven't used in a long time to help free up some storage space. Fortunately, all of your data is still saved though, so if sometime down the road you realize that you do need to open that app for something, you just have to reinstall the application and all of your data is going to come back with it. This is particularly useful for people who bought the 64GB version of the iPhone SE and to take a lot of pictures and videos, because that 64 gigs will fill up pretty quick, so this is a great way to save some space. If you have kids that sometimes use your phone to either play games or watch kids shows, or you ever let anyone use your phone to make a phone call, then this next feature is for you. If you go to Settings, scroll down to Accessibility, then scroll all the way to the bottom, and tap Guided Access and turn that on. So as you can see, I already had mine turned on. This is going to allow you to lock someone into a specific application for as long as you want. And the only way they can get out of that application is with a unique passcode that you set up. So it's not the same passcode you use to get into your phone. This is a unique passcode. And if you want, instead of using a passcode, you can go to passcode settings and turn on Touch ID instead. But for the sake of the demonstration, I'm going to keep Touch ID turned off. So the way you activate guided access is by triple clicking the home button. So to demonstrate this, I'm going to go to Twitter and triple click the home button. And now I'm going to get this little menu that pops up. Now I can start it immediately, or I can go to these options down here at the bottom and I can turn different things on and off. So right now you can see that volume buttons are turned off. So when I start guided access, whoever's using this won't be able to increase or decrease the volume. I can also lock the sleep-wake button so they can't turn the screen off either. I can lock motion. I can either have it so that when they turn the phone sideways, the screen will rotate, or I can turn that off completely so it always stays in the same orientation I started in. And I can have keyboards enabled or disabled. You can even disable touch. If you disable this, this will stop them from being able to interact with the screen at all. And this is particularly useful for kids who are going to be watching some kind of a kids show and you don't want them getting out of that kids show. Maybe it's a kids show you have playing on YouTube or Netflix or something like that, and you don't want them to get into other videos. This is a great way to lock them into that video. And if they're playing a game, you can even set a time limit that's going to lock the phone after some set amount of time. So if you want to make sure that they're only playing games for, 10, 20 minutes, however long you want to set as a parent, then you can go ahead and pick that time and tap done. Now, after that amount of time, it's going to automatically lock on them. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the time limit off and turn keyboards off so I can kind of demonstrate this for you. And we're going to start guided access. Now here I have to enter a passcode that's going to be used to get back out of guided access. So for ease of passcode, I'm just going to do 1111 and 1111 again. So now, as you can see, the volume buttons no longer work. The power button here no longer works. I can still interact and scroll, but if I go to try to type a post, no matter how much I tap here, that's not going to turn on because I have keyboards turned off. And if I want to get out of this mode, I have to hit the home button, right? You'll see that it tells you to triple click it. So I actually have to hit it 3 times. Then I have to enter a passcode to get out. If I tap cancel, it'll let me just stay in this mode where I can interact in this application. But again, I can't get into any other applications while I'm in guided mode. So once they're done, they'll hand the phone back to you. You can triple click the home button, enter your passcode, and get back into the rest of your applications. If you want to rearrange apps on your home screens, it is a bit cumbersome at times because you have to long press for a while, and then once you get here, you'll typically just move one application at a time to get it reorganized however you want it. But obviously, this takes a really long time, especially if you want to move a lot of apps from one page to another. But what a lot of people don't realize is there's a much faster way to do this. If you want to move a bunch of apps in one shot, all you have to do is long press and start dragging one application. After you've started dragging it, use another finger and tap other applications that you want to move to another page or rearrange, and then drag that to where you want it, let go, and all of the apps will drop into place. If you own a pair of AirPods Pro and you don't like how long it takes to hold the stem button to change modes, you can actually shorten the amount of time it takes to change modes. To do that, go back into your Settings app, scroll to Accessibility, scroll to the bottom, tap AirPods, and change the press and hold duration to either short or shorter. So this way you'll be able to change modes much faster. Another feature on this page that a lot of people don't know about is that you can actually turn on noise cancellation for just one AirPod. So for the times where you only have one in your ear, and for some reason you still want to have that noise canceling turned on, then this is how you would do that. And in case you're wondering, this does still allow you to turn noise cancellation off by long pressing the stem. If you play a lot of games and you notice that you keep accidentally bringing up the control center while you're trying to play a game, you can actually turn off the control center while you're in applications. To do that, go to your home screen, go to the Settings app, scroll down to Control Center, then turn off this Access Within Apps feature. And now if I go back to Twitter and try to swipe up again, you'll notice that it does not pop up anymore. What's great about this is that it's a setting that's very fast to change. It's so easy just to go back into Settings, Control Center, and turn it back on when you're done playing your game. This next feature is exclusive to any phone or iPad that has a Touch ID sensor. So if you go to Settings, scroll down to Touch ID and Passcode, then enter your passcode, and scroll down to Fingerprints, you can actually place your finger on the sensor, and you can actually see which fingerprint that finger is registered to. Now this is useful if you have a fingerprint that generally doesn't work with Touch ID and you want to re-register it. Let's say it's your left thumb doesn't work all the time. You can actually put your left thumb on there, see that it's registered to fingerprint 2, then tap that, delete fingerprint 2, and then go ahead and re-register your left thumb. An even more useful unknown feature with the fingerprints is that you can actually register more than one finger for each registration. So I'm going to go ahead and add a fingerprint here. And I'm going to use my middle finger, my ring finger, my pinky, and my index finger. So now, no matter which finger I place on the sensor, they're all registered as fingerprint 5. The best use case for this would be with an iPad that a family shares, where you guys still want to have the iPad locked for safety, but you want the whole family to have access to the iPad. With the iPad and iPhones, you're limited to 5 fingerprints. So if you have a family with more than 5 people in it, not everyone will be able to access the iPad with their fingerprints. However, if a few people share some of these fingerprint registrations, then everyone can have access. Alternatively, if you have a family of 5, everyone can register both thumbs and both index fingers with no issues at all. Real quick, if you guys are getting value out of this video, let me know by dropping a like down below. If you use Siri a lot, but you don't always want to use voice commands when you're around other people, you can set Siri to accept text commands as well. And the text commands can do anything you can with voice. So if I typed something like, remind me to post this video on Wednesday, and I tap done, then it'll create a reminder called post this video. To turn this feature on, all you have to do is go to Settings, scroll down to Accessibility, scroll all the way to the bottom, tap Siri, and enable Type to Siri. Now, as you just saw a moment ago, when you hold the power button, you get the option to type to Siri. If you don't want to type to Siri and you'd rather just use the voice commands, you can still do that by saying, "Remind me to post this video Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. If you want even more privacy, you can set voice feedback to be controlled with the ringer switch. So now anytime you set it to silent mode, Siri is not going to respond with its voice. You're just going to get a text response. Now, obviously, I just used the example of reminders when I used the text input for Siri, but anything that Siri can do can also be done with text, which includes running shortcuts, using smart home commands, adding things to your calendar, and so much more. So this is a great feature for people who want to get the most out of Siri and keep their privacy in public places. When you first set up your iPhone SE, you had the option to change the intensity of this home button press. Now, this home button isn't actually a physical button. There's actually a motor behind here that vibrates every time you press hard on the capacitive button. If after using the phone for a little while you've decided that you want to either increase or decrease the intensity, you can get back to those settings pretty easily by going to Settings, scrolling down to General, then Home button. And from here, you can select a different intensity and test it out. Find one that you like, then tap Done. This next feature is one that I've been waiting for a long time, and it has to do with Apple CarPlay. You can finally ask Siri to navigate somewhere and use a map other than Apple Maps. So I could just ask Siri to navigate somewhere with Waze, and it'll actually do it. If you're ever going to get together with friends again in a large area, like let's say you're going to a park or something like that, like we used to do before the whole world was locked down, there's a really easy way to show your friends exactly where you are. All you have to do is tap Info at the top. Then you can either send your current location or share your location. The difference between these two is that if you tap Send My Current Location, it will send them where you are in that very moment. But if you tap Share My Location, it will let them see where you are at any given time for a set period of time. So if I tap Share My Location, I can share it for an hour, share it until the end of the day, or share it indefinitely. So this is a great way to meet up with people, especially if it's a huge place. Like let's say you're going to Disney or something like that, and you're already there, and you have friends or family coming to meet you, and you're gonna be walking around to different places. You can share your location until the end of the day, so you guys always know where everyone is. I do have a quick bonus feature for you guys. It's nothing crazy, it's pretty simple, but a lot of people don't know about it. If you're typing a message to someone and you just want to quickly add a period, you don't have to tap this 1, 2, 3 character on the side, tap period, tap this again to get back into your regular text. All you have to do is double tap the space bar and it'll add the period and a space, and it'll keep you in the text mode. So again, nothing crazy, but it definitely saves a good amount of time when you're texting. Here's another bonus feature for you guys. The iPhone SE doesn't have all the required sensors at the top of the phone to use Animojis. If you don't remember what Animojis are, they are these little faces here that you can animate using your own face. However, if you still want to play with a character that looks a little bit like you and send stickers using that character's face, you can still do that, and it's called a Memoji. So to do that, you tap this plus icon all the way over on the left, and just go ahead and create a new Memoji that looks a little bit like you. Once you've created your Memoji, it's going to appear over here on the left, and you can create more than one if you want to. All you have to do is tap it, and you'll get all of these stickers to use with a character that looks a little bit like you. Just tap the sticker, and then tap send. Now, unfortunately, these aren't animated in any way. The best you can do is just tap it to make it bigger, but that's really it. If at some point you want to edit your Memoji because you don't think it looks quite like you and you want to make some changes, all you have to do is select your Memoji, then tap these 3 dots over here, then tap Edit. Now you can go through all of the different features and change whatever you need. Let me know how many of these were new to you in the comments below, and don't forget to turn on notifications by clicking the bell next to the subscribe icon so you don't miss another upload. That's it for this Techisode. God bless, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.